Citizens, what is going on? So today in this video we are going to cover salvaging, and I'm going to give you the basic fundamental information you need to get started. Now, by no means am I a salvage pro in the game, however salvaging is a very good way to earn a lot of credit. So I'm going to cover the ship we're using today, the actual salvaging of the material, breaking down the ships, then storing the material, as well as selling the material itself at the different stations, etc., as well as some of the kit that's going to help you out along the way. So let's dive into it. So as you can see here, I'm using the Drake Vulture. Now this thing is a fantastically unique looking ship. It's very industrial looking, very salvagey, and it just gives me that oversized kind of pod racer vibe, but very, very cool. So we've got 2 points of access if you need to know. You've got one in the middle section here. You can use the ladder to get up to the canopy, and then you've got the rear access point, which is a ramp, and you've got access panels on the port and the starboard side. So let's get inside. Now, if we quickly close the ramp, we can move over to the important section. Now, this panel here controls our materials getting stored into boxes. It's then going to jettison them just here. Now, for that, you are going to need a tool gun with a tractor beam attachment, so you can lift them up and put them in the relevant positions. So make sure you have a tractor gun with you, and this is where you can control all that material getting stored and then eventually getting it sold. Right, let's move to the actual position we need to. Right, so once you're ready, you're going to hit F2, get that mobiGlas up and go to the contracts tab. Once you're there, you're going to find salvage. You're going to see a list depending on where you are with it. However, click on one of these and start the salvaging contract. You will have to pay a fee of 1,000, but not too much of an issue. Then we're going to go to our map and have a look where it actually is. Alright, so we've actually arrived at the salvage site. Now we can get there straight away, which is really good. We've got that nice clear marker. However, if you are in Pyro, a lot of the time you're not going to be able to see the salvage straight away. So you're going to click tab, conduct a scan, see all these unknowns, and then if you click V, you can do a further scan and actually identify what it is at distance. However, for this one, we have a marker straight there, which is useful. Another thing to bear in mind, if you're doing this in Pyro, you are going to get AI pirates, or potentially, even worse, pirate players. If that is the case, is the Vulture any good? Now, it can stand up fairly okay in a fight, but it's only got 2 mounted weapons and the shields go down fast. So you need to judge if you're able to actually secure that salvage efficiently and safely. More importantly, if you've already been doing salvaging and you've got a load of material, is it worth the risk? Alright, so we've arrived at the arrow and we're going to salvage it. So we're going to click M. Once that's done, it's going to deploy your salvaging equipment. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff going on, but if you check on the bottom right, you're going to see all the button combinations to unlock what you need. It's pretty straightforward. However, for this bit, we want to be on the clinch scraper module. And all we're going to do is left click and start scraping the hull of the arrow as such. Now, if we use our middle mouse button, we can spread out our beams like this, potentially doing it a little bit quicker, covering more of an area. However, if we put them both together, it's going to be more intensified and we're going to get it done a lot quicker. So I prefer just to keep it like this, nice and simple. And I'm just using my mouse, just going up and down, making sure we get all that material. Now, if you're doing this for a contract, in the top right, you're going to see a percentage to complete the actual contract itself. Now, one big hot tip while you're doing this is just start with one part of the ship and maneuver your way around. So if you're doing the top, stick to the top and then move to the bottom. Now, if you're doing a much bigger ship that's got multiple modules, you can go into the ship and salvage the modules as well and then store them in the back where the hangar is. However, again, just be careful doing this. I have had issues in the past with smaller aircraft trying to secure their weapon systems and such. It does create a few little bugs here and there, but it is an option there for you to make a little bit more money and something you can always sell to one of the ship shops. Okay, so that is the contract complete. However, we want to get as much material as we can, so I'm still going to go over as much as I can just to secure it all before we actually break up the ship. Okay, so once we've done that, we're going to right click to stop the scraper mode. Okay, and this is where it gets pretty interesting. So if we click Alt W, it's going to switch to our fracture tool, and all we need to do is move a little bit closer. We're going to left click We're going to let it power up with the actual aircraft selected, and as you can see, it's encompassing it, and boom. Alright, seems pretty dangerous, but I've never actually had any issues with it. Now once it's broken up, we're going to do it for each of the little pieces, and all we're going to do is right click to select one, and then break it up. Try not to move into it just like I did. And boom, and then we suck in all that material in. And you want to do this for each little component. So we select it by right click, we then left click, and we can see the module turning in the middle of the screen to when it's actually going to break up. We're going to pull it all in. If you ever do get worried about this sort of stuff and you're a bit confused, always just look to the right hand side and check what button combinations you require. It's a better way of doing it rather than trying to watch this video back to back. But look at the bottom right and you will see. Alright, so we've got all the material we need. We're now going to find somewhere to sell it. But first we're going to click M to bring in our tools. Alright, so now we've arrived and landed at Orison. So I'm going to show you the next steps in the Vulture. If we move to the hangar bay and move back to that panel that I showed you earlier, it should be filled with certain different things. So we've got construction materials and recycled material composite that we can eject. However, if we go to craft, we've got a few different things we can actually create here on the ship. And the best one for me is this Pyro multi-tool. That's right, you can craft your own multi-tool just by clicking this and it will pop out just here. Really cool feature, and I think it does definitely help when you start losing multi-tools. So let's eject these materials, and this is where we need our trusted multi-tool. So as you can see, it's filling them all up, packing them with all that material that we've got, and then we've got our box just coming out here. Then what we need to do is make space and move it away from there, and we can move it to these certain points on the ship. Just be careful when you do it. Let's eject this next one. And here it is. We can just pick this up and again just store it on the ship as such. And just to show you the multi-tool craft, if I click craft here, it will start creating one. Really cool feature, and you just wait for the timer to finish and it will pop out just here, and you've crafted your very own multi-tool, which I think is a really cool feature to have, especially if you're like me and you always end up losing yours. Right, next steps. Right, now that side of it's done, we need to store the ship and go to the Trading and Development Division in Orison, and I will show you where to go. Alright, so we need to go to the Skyway Transit, and then we're just going to literally stick to the right as we go out. Alright, so as we get out here, we're going to stick to the right, and look at that, timing is perfect. Alright, so it's worth noting there are different stations where you will get more profit. However, this is just an example to show you where to go. It's always going to be the TDD, so Trading and Development Division. That being said though, if you are a risky player, then Grimhex is pretty decent to sell salvage as well. But just have a good Google, every patch is different, and find where gives you the most profit. Okay, and here we are. Very, very close. As you can see, my frames are taking a hit now we're in Orison. Love it. But this is the building in Orison. Alright, so the inventory side is a little bit messed up at times. You have to actually click your name, not Drake Vulture. Alright. Let's see how much we made. Not too much off this one, so this was our first haul. And then 10k off the second one, which isn't too bad. So this was the first one we did, which cost us 500, so not too bad, almost 4 times the profit. And then this one we made 10.80k, which isn't too bad at all. And that's for the recycled composite. So not too bad. Just remember, if you're having bugs when you get to the commodities screen, then just click your name and not the actual Vulture or whatever ship you are using. Well, that concludes the video. Thank you very much for watching. This is a very, very basic guide to salvaging. There are better guides out there, but this is my experience with it so far. And that NPC, I am literally going to... Remember a sub and thumbs up. Thanks for watching.